Today I'm going to show you how to travel Fuerteventura, Spain.
No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on.
In this video, I'm gonna be giving you a 7-day itinerary to Fuerteventura to make sure you get all of its beauty and adventure. Now, everybody knows that Fuerteventura is a place of beautiful beaches to relax. But what if I told you that there's a lot more to it than just relaxing? Well, this video will show you how to travel Fuerteventura and get the most out of it. Whether you're an adventurer or you want to find the beauty of nature. From finding Europe's most beautiful white sand beaches with crystal clear waters to exploring the amazing rough nature of this island. My only goal for today is to make sure that you have everything you need to know before coming here. But before we get into that, I want to give you a layover the island so you know where's the best place for you to stay. Also check out my other video, 6 things to know before coming to Fuerteventura, where I will go into detail what's the best area to stay. I will give you all of the advantages, and I will also give you my top beaches that I think are the best beaches on Fuerteventura, and I will also tell you things that you should know before coming that not that many people talk about on this island. So definitely check it out, and I will link it at the end of the video. But here's a small overview of your perfect place to stay. So first, and that's my favorite definitely, is Corralejo. It's a big city in the northeast, and this is the place for you if you want to be in a big city, if you want to have life around you, if you want bars and restaurants and beach clubs and beach within the city and just everything in place. Corralejo is probably the best, and that's also why it's one of my favorites. You have those little beaches within the city, you have the restaurants right behind, and you're also very close to the Grand Dunes de Corralejo. These are the big sand dunes that you probably know from Instagram. They're just 10 minutes away with the car, so it's a really good location, and you're just within the city, you have everything in place, and it's just my favorite spot to choose. If you want to have it really quiet and local, I suggest you El Cotillo. It's a beautiful town in the northern western side, and it's super nice with white, blue painted housing. It's super local with some shops, but keep in mind it's very small there. You would just have some apartments, some hotels, and the local old city. You will have still lots of beaches and also big natural beaches, but it's very quiet there. So if you're traveling with family or just want to relax all day, this is the perfect place for you. And if you want a hotel in the first front row of the beach and beautiful long white sand beaches, I recommend you to go into the south, where is Morrojable, Esquinzo, Jandia. All of them are quite similar, and you have a lot of hotels just in the front row of the beach. The beach is over 12 kilometers long, so you have enough space. It's really, really white sand there. It's crystal clear water, but you have to keep in mind that there is really windy. It's compared to the big sand dunes of Corralejo, because there are also a lot of kite surfers. It's really windy, but you have those beautiful views and a lot of hotels to choose from. And another hidden gem that I want to give to you is Cotillo. It's a little bay. It's very close to the airport, so you don't have to drive very far, and you can get a hotel in the front row of this little bay. And the advantage of that one is that it's not really windy. As far as we've been there, it's super calm. The beach is not the most beautiful compared to the other beaches. It's not as fine sand, but it's still super beautiful and you have a beautiful promenade outside of the bay, so it's definitely a hidden gem. So in this video I will start everything from Corralejo, but you can also adjust it from where you're located, where your hotel or Airbnb is. But before starting our 7-day itinerary, we have the arrival day. So typically you arrive at the airport, and from there I suggest you to rent a car, and it's the most convenient and probably the cheapest way to get around on the island. You can rent one from 15 euros up to 30, 40 euros open end for sure. I recommend you to get full insurance because at some parts of the island the road is very dusty with lots of stones, but in general the road is super good. And just rent a car for the whole stay where you're there. It's really cheap compared to other European islands. And it's super convenient to get around. You don't have to wait for buses. Buses often just take more time. So you just want to rent a car. And from the airport, it's a 30-minute drive to Corralejo. It's about 10 minutes to Cotillo and about 1 hour to Morro. So everything is within the reach. And then you just want to arrive at your hotel, Airbnb, whatever you booked, and just check out the hotel, make a first relaxing day, and be ready to start tomorrow with the 7-day itinerary. On day 1 of the 7-day itinerary, we explore Corralejo. And now you have time to really explore the city, go through the small streets within the city, visit the shops, and also try local foods, go into the restaurants, and just enjoy the city, enjoy the beaches within the city. And you can also visit the Popcorn Beach. It's a very famous beach on Fuerteventura where the sand looks like popcorn, where it's actually, I think it's dead coral, so you need swimming shoes if you want to go in there. But yeah, it looks super nice, very unique, so it's a place where you definitely want to go. And after that you can also go to the Grand Dunes de Corralejo, those big dunes where I've already spoken from. It's very windy there, keep that in mind, but it's super beautiful. You have those super white sand beach dunes that are really, really long. I think it's also one of the World Heritage. And also you have really crystal clear water. You probably also have a lot of tourists because it's the most famous beach on the whole island. But it's super nice. You definitely have to go there, check it out, and just enjoy the beach, because that's probably the reason why you've visited Fuerteventura in the first place. On day 2, we have an active day and a beach day combined. First thing in the morning, we drive up to the Volcano Calderon Hondo. It's probably 15 to 30 minute drive from the city of Corralejo, and there we hike up the volcano. It's about 40 minutes hike to get up and down, I would say. It's not as far as it sounds, but it's really nice to have a good overview over the island. You also meet the little squirrels, which I mentioned in the other video, so pack a little bit of water for them in your backpack and just walk up there, look at the volcano, which is not active, so it's not very spectacular, but you just get that view over the whole island, and it's really nice. And then you walk down back again, but keep in mind the street or the road to the volcano is not paved, so it's like a dirt, sand and gravel street, but it's not as bad as it sounds. But some of the car insurance companies, they don't insure you if you're driving on that kind of road. So if something happens there, you're probably not insured, but we still drove there. Everything was fine, but just keep that in mind. And then we continue to the city of El Cotillo. It's probably another 30-minute drive from the volcano to the city of Cotillo, and there you have those cute white and blue painted houses that give you a really local feeling. It reminded me a little bit of Greece. And you have the beautiful old town. You have small shops and boutiques inside of there. It's super nice. Lots of restaurants as well. And right next to the city of El Cotillo, you have a big natural beach, which you can see from the harbor, which is called the Playa de Castillo. But it's not in the city of Castillo, which I mentioned you to stay. It's right next to El Cotillo, and there you have no houses at all. It's very natural and very quiet. And on the other side of El Cotillo, you have the more touristic side, I would say. There are some hotels, but very few, and also apartments which you can rent to stay there. And there you have the Playa de El Cotillo and also the beach La Concha, which is a little bay with beautiful white sand beach and crystal clear water like all over the island. And it's very family friendly. The water is not deep and it's very calm. It's still windy there, but it's really beautiful right in front of the apartment, so you definitely have to go there. And another thing that you can also visit are the natural pools that are just a few minutes by car away. They're located right next to the Playa de los Charcos, and these are literally just natural pools carved by nature, and you just swim inside of there and you're still in ocean water and it looks really nice. So you can add that, it's not far away and it's a really nice spot to visit. So day 3 will be a very active day. We will also drive into the mountains, and maybe you didn't know yet, but Fuerteventura actually has very big mountains and also volcanoes. So you will be amazed by those views and probably didn't expect that by your Fuerteventura vacation. So our first stop is around 40 minutes away from Corralejo, and it's the Museo del Queso Majorero, and it's basically an antique cheese museum where they show you how they made the cheese mainly from goat milk back then. And I really think it's cool to get a little insight on the culture and how they did it back then. You can also skip that if you're not really a museum person, but I thought it would really be a nice point just to start there. From there we just have a 10-minute drive to our next destination. It's an observation platform. It's the Mirador de Guius y Ayose. From now you probably know that I will definitely pronounce some of the Spanish names wrong, so I will link all of them here so you find them. And it's a beautiful observation platform. They also have 2 big stages, and you can just look around all of the mountains and just the nature and the scenery of Fuerteventura. And from now on you really see that the mountains are really high, and this is just like the first step of the mountains. So it's really nice just to park there for a few minutes, enjoy the views, and then keep on driving. So then you keep on driving another 5 minutes until you arrive in Betancuria. It is the old capital of Fuerteventura. Back then they actually located it surrounded by the mountains, because then it was protected from pirates that didn't see it, because it was right in the valley surrounded by the mountains. And it's a really small and super local village. It's actually really small. I think you can walk through it within 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And it's super small. You have some little local restaurants. You also have some souvenir shops, but very local. And you also have the main place of the village which is the church. And you can just walk around a little bit. You see some cats, and yeah, it's really super nice, just a place to visit. You probably don't spend much time there because it's not really a lot of things to do there, but you can also eat there because there are super nice restaurants. First of all, it's La Sombrero. It's a burger restaurant, and you also have some vegan options. And the second one is La Taverna, which is super local, and you have lots of grilled foods. So definitely go there and just enjoy Betancuria and get a feeling of how it was back then when they had to protect themselves from pirates. Our next destination is just 15 minutes away with the car. It's the Barranco de la Penitas. It's a hiking trail. It's about 45 minutes long, and it's a gorge with a dam and a little chapel. And at the end of the hiking trail you get to see a beautiful natural stone arch. It's called the Arco de la Penitas, and some even say that this is the most beautiful hike of all Fuerteventura, so you have to test it out to know it by yourself. So if you keep on driving for another 30 minutes, you arrive at the beautiful fisher village of Ajuy. And while driving through those mountain streets, you can also stop at every Mirador observation deck platform that you basically see. Also, a very famous one is the Mirador Risco de Penitas. I will also plan it in here. But when we were there, it was very touristy. Lots of buses were stopping, so maybe that's just a bad luck of timing, but you can always stop there. But after 30 minutes, you're in the fisher village of Ajuy, which is also super local. They also have a black sand beach, which is very unusual for Fuerteventura. So it gives you kind of a different feeling compared to all of the other beaches. And for which Ajuy is very famous for, actually, the caves there. It's called the Cuevas de Ajuy, and these are really big caves right next to the ocean in the rocks, and it's very, very famous, and a lot of people say it's so amazing to just walk there and explore those caves. So you definitely have to go there and also explore them and get a little local feeling of the little fisher village. Maybe you get some snacks and just enjoy and relax a little bit. So now, if you still got time, you can actually drive to the village of La Parade, where you can watch the sunset, which is, from my knowledge, one of the only cities in whole Fuerteventura where you can watch sunset, because it's located in the western side. And while driving to La Parede, you can also stop at the Mirador Astronómico de Sicasumbre. It's also very famous, and some say that it's the best spot to watch stars in the night. But I don't really recommend driving there in the night, because when there is no sunlight, the mountain roads can get really dangerous because there are a lot of curves and so on. But I recommend you to drive to La Parade to get one of the sunset spots and just go there to the beach or in a little bar or restaurant and enjoy the sunset. And after that, you can head home after a very active day of Fuerteventura. Day 4, we are already halfway through, and we start the day with a drive of 1 hour 15 to the Faro de la Entrada. It's a lighthouse, and it's actually the closest point to Africa, because if you didn't know yet, Fuerteventura is actually on the height of Africa, even though it is part of Spain. So it's very unique. You drive also through some mountain roads, and then you see the lighthouse, which is so unique through its white painting and rocks, and it has such a unique way to look. And you also have a mirador there, an observation platform where you can look over the ocean. At some days you can even see Africa. And inside of the lighthouse there is a museum, and sometimes there are exhibitions. When we were there, sadly they weren't, but sometimes there are exhibitions about the history and everything of Fuerteventura, so you can also go in there. But beside of the crazy look of the mountains and of the lighthouse, you can't really do much there, but it's really worth just for the look and for the impression to drive there. So the next stop, just 30 minutes away, is the Verde Aurora aloe vera farm. And maybe, as you can already see from Fuerteventura, they don't have many ways to do agriculture. So some ways are aloe vera, then they also have like a lot of goat farms, maybe some cheese and salt farms, if it's called like that. But there are not many ways, so I think it's a really cool way to look into how they make their money up until today, and especially back then where tourism wasn't really a thing on the island. So you can see how the aloe veras are grown. You can also buy aloe vera products, and you can just visit the farm and get to know how everything works, how aloe veras are grown, and just visit the museum. After that, our next stop is the Museo de las Salinas del Carmen. It's a museum where you get shown how the salt is produced on the island. You get to see all of the salt fields and see the whole process of it. Lots of education there. So I think it's a really nice way to just get into that agriculture. And you can also buy their own grown or produced salt there. So I think it's a really cool idea, and I promise it's the last museum, but I also really like it to get just a little insight of the culture and of how the locals live and work there besides from tourism. And after that we go to our final stop for this day, which is the Playa de Castillo. And I already told you that I think it's a really hidden gem to live in Castillo because it's not as windy as the other parts of the island. They still have a nice beach. You have a beautiful promenade with palms and grass, which is also not very common on Fuerteventura. And it's just a really nice place to relax, maybe to get a day bed with a sun umbrella. And you can have really nice food there in a restaurant that's called La Dolce Vita. It's an Italian restaurant there. We've been there 2 times. The food was so good. Really, trust me. Just go there. It's in the harbor and you look over the whole bay and it's really nice just to enjoy and walk around and maybe get into some souvenir shops. And what you can also do besides laying on the beach and enjoying the beautiful weather is going to the natural pools that are right next to it. I think it's 5 minutes with the car. We were there, I think it was quite high tide, so we couldn't go into the natural pools. Maybe it's different with low tide, but yeah. Just go there and bring swimming shoes if you want to go there because of all of the black rocks and so on. It's not very comfortable, but you can just enjoy the rest of the day in Playa de Castillo. And we really like Castillo that much, even though the beach is not as beautiful as all of the other typical beaches on Fuerteventura, but it was not as windy and just everything fitted so nicely together. Day 5 today is a very relaxing day after the last days full of activity. And we start the day with the Grandes Playas Corralejo, the big sand dunes that I already told you about. You get to spend time here and just enjoy the nature, the beaches. And also you can visit the Alzada beach. It's a very famous beach that you probably already seen on Instagram because the road gets so close to the beach and to the blue water and it's just so Instagrammable. You see people with cabrios just driving through the road and filming it with a drone. It looks super beautiful and just enjoy a full beach day. And you can also add here the aqua park in Corralejo. Maybe you're into that, you like that, or you also have kids. You can also spend the day in the aqua park. It's also a really nice park. So you can choose the aqua park or just a full day at the beach, enjoying sunbathing and enjoying the sand dunes of Corralejo. Day 6, we are heading to the south, which is super famous for those beautiful, very long, over 12-kilometer long beaches. And we start our day with driving to Morro, which is the biggest city in the south. And you drive about 1 hour 40 from Corralejo. And from there we take the bus. You can find the buses on the website tiate.com. And you take the bus 111 from Morro over the Faro de Punta de Jandia, the Lighthouse, to the La Cafete beach. And what's important, this bus just drives 2 times a day. It drives at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And it's an off-road bus where just 12 people can fit inside and they don't accept reservations. And our hotel suggested us to be there at least 1 hour before to buy the tickets at the counter. And after that, you can stroll around Morro, but the tickets often are sold out already half an hour before. So be there early, like at 9 a.m. and just buy the tickets. And then you drive with that bus, I think about 1 hour to the La Cafete beach. It's a very beautiful natural beach. You're not allowed to swim there because the current is very dangerous, but you have those big mountains in the back, and there's also a very famous villa, the Casa Winter, which is famous because some rumors say that some big political men back then from Germany flew in that villa and just escaped from there. It's just rumors, nobody knows. And also suggested that you take the first bus from La Cafete back. You find all of the times also on the website, but it suggested that you take the first bus back because, as I said, there is no reservation also on the return trip. So if you say, yeah, I'm going to take the second bus back and it is full, there is no taxi going there. So you literally have to hike a few hours back to Morro, and you definitely don't want to do that. So take the first bus back because otherwise you have to hike back. You can also drive by car there yourself, but as I already mentioned, that most of car insurances don't insure those roads that are just from gravel, and that is one of those roads, and you have to drive over 1 hour just on the gravel road. And a lot of people get flat tires there, so we didn't want to take that risk, and we would also just take the bus instead. And it's also not expensive, it's just I think €8 per way, so it's really cheap, and you still get to experience the beautiful La Cofeta beach without the fear of having a flat tire in the nowhere. After that, you get back to Morrojable, to the town. It's also a very local town. You have some shops, also some touristy souvenir shops, but you also have nice restaurants there to eat something, and you have the beach right in front, which is super beautiful. So soft white sand beach and crystal clear blue water, just like you know it from Fuerteventura. And after eating something in a restaurant, you can stay at the beach at Morrojable, which is super local, and I feel a lot of locals just go there. I highly recommend renting a permanent sun umbrella and a day bed, because don't get up your own sun umbrella, because it will fly away with the wind, because it's super windy in the south. And also you can drive to 2 other beaches that were super nice in that area. The first one is the Playa de Sotavento. It's a very famous kitesurfing beach, so it's very, very windy, but it's 100% natural. You have some bushes in the back that maybe protect you from some wind, but don't expect big things there. And you also have a very big sand dune which you can walk up, and the water is super flat. You also have a sand bank depending on the tide, and it's really, really beautiful there. But you can also go to the Playa de Costa Calma, but to the southern side of the Playa de Costa Calma, because in the northern side there are lots of big ugly hotels and you don't want to be there. You want to be in the southern side of the Costa Calma. There are some apartments in the back, but it's more like it looks nice, it's a nice feeling. You have some bars in the back of the beach, and you can also rent umbrellas there. It's not as windy as the Playa de Sotavento, but we're still in the south, so it's still super windy, but it's a really nice beach. It's super beautiful, just like the other beaches in the south, and so you can just choose, you can visit all of them and just enjoy the beach day in the south. One additional thing that I still want to mention for the south is that they have an Oasis wildlife zoo there. So if you're a zoo person or you have kids and want to go there, it's a big zoo there. It's with also a lot of nature. You can go there, but we didn't, and I think you can do way more beautiful things on Fuerteventura than visiting a zoo. But yeah, it's there, but I would always choose the beaches over the zoo. And now we have the last day of our 7-day itinerary. And this day is totally to you, because we had so much activity the last days. This day is just for you, what you want to repeat. I highly recommend to you just choose one beach that you like the most the last days and just drive there and do one full day of beach relaxation, sunbathing, and just enjoy the island one last time before it goes back for you. So just choose a beach, drive there, that's also what we did, and just enjoy the beautiful beach, the water, and just everything from this island that makes this so unique. And if you got any value out of this video, please like so it can reach more people, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next videos where I can show you the most beautiful places on earth. And if you didn't yet, check out my last video on Fuerteventura, 6 things that you should definitely know before coming to Fuerteventura so you don't get surprised on your vacation.